Hi everyone, this is my YouTube channel Learn IT Profession. Today we will learn how to install and configure Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2. In a lab scenario, I have already installed Windows Server 2012 R2 OS and I have taken a remote session of it. Okay, I've already configured a network configuration for this demo of installation and configuration of Windows Server 2012 DC. Okay, first I show you my network configuration. And cpa.cpl, you type the command on run to check the network configurations on Windows Server as well on Windows also. Okay, here you see my IP address is 192.168.10.8. This is a subnet mask 255.255.255.0. This is a gateway 192.168.10.1, and the DNS server is the same of the IP address because this is the domain controller. Okay, I've already given a suitable name for this DC. To check the name of this PC, type the command sysdm.cpl. You see the DC name, or you can say this OS name is Windows WS 2012 R2-DC. Currently it is in workflow. Okay, and this is a remote session that I have taken of the VM. This VM is created on a VMware workstation. Okay, so you can start the lab. To install Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2, click on Add Roles and Features. On before you begin page, just click next. If you want to remove the roles, you click on start the remove roles and feature wizard. But we install STEM or Active Directory domain service, so we click next. This is a role, so click on must select the role based or feature based installation. Okay, click next. This is only the DC on this server pool, so if this is not selected, just select it, then click next. Select the Active Directory domain services. When you select the Active Directory domain services, it's automatically add features as required for the Active Directory domain services. If you don't select it, if you exclude it just by uncheck this mark and then uncheck this option, so Active Directory domain services will not install. So you must install these features also. Click on add features. Here you have a confusion why I'm not select DNS server. This is Active Directory domain services. Active Directory domain services will automatically install a DNS server. Okay, if you want to read what is the Active Directory domain services, here the little bit definition what is Active Directory is. Active Directory is basically Active Directory is used for the Active Directory domain services is used for centralized authentication by single sign-on service. You have you can view your applications, and you can check your services, and you access your sharing means network sharing folders, and any services run in your environment in your organization you can access centralized. If you want to read complete detail what is Active Directory domain services and how it is work, you can read my article they have written on Learn IT Profession website, how to install and configure Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2. Active Directory domain services, you can install the similar steps on, you can use this similar steps to 2016, 2019 and 2022. Okay, here you also check what are the FISMO roles. You can read from here, and 5 types of FISMO roles that are on occur on yeah, or you can say that are the part of Active Directory, and you differentiate and you distribute the FISMO roles on multiple domain controller as well, because multiple domain controller is a great administration in an environment. Okay, you have the 5 FISMO roles, that is primary domain controller, and you can read the definition. What is primary domain controller? Relative ID, schema master, domain naming master, and infrastructure master. Okay, this is a lab environment, so we should continue. I have selected Active Directory domain services. I will tell you DNS server will install when I promote this server as a domain controller. DNS server will install. Okay, just click next. On features, I have not required any features for this roles as a service. Just click next. You also see what is Active Directory domain services is. If you want to read, you can read it from here. Just click next. Click on restart the Destiny server automatically if required. Click yes. I have selected the features Active Directory domain services, but it all include the features that with the Active Directory domain services, that is Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell, ADDS tools, Active Directory administration centers, and Active Directory command line tools. This is a role administration tools actually. So install Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2. Just click install. Okay, great. The installation of Active Directory domain services on this server has been completed successfully. One thing to be noted here, the times of the server should be set before you promote the server as a domain controller. Even before the installation of Active Directory domain services, the time and date should be accurate. Okay, so promote the server to a domain controller. Just click promote the server to a domain controller. Actually, this is a first domain in a forest. I'm not adding a domain controller to an existing domain. I'm not creating a new domain in existing forest. This is a new forest. Actually, forest is the top of the organization, and inside the forest multiple domain you can create. So this is the first domain. The domain name pakistan.local. You can give in any domain name as you require. This is the root domain of a new forest. Pakistan, PAKISTAN .local LOCAL. Just click next. Okay, great. Here you see the functional labels of a new forest and root domains. The forest function label is Windows Server 2012 R2, and the domain function label is also Windows Server 2012 R2. Here you see, here you give the forest function label Windows Server 2008 also. If you have an your environment is Windows Server 2008 or 2008 R2, so you can give it. But in my environment, this is the first domain on a new forest or first domain controller in an environment, so I have selected the latest forest function label because this is the server Windows Server 2012 R2. So I am giving it. Just click on it, and you also change the domain function label. Domain function label, not the previous like you can say not have a previous version. If I select Windows Server 2008 R2, then it gives you a domain function label of previous versions, because domain function label must be the same as forest function label or upper version of forest functional label. So this is Windows Server 2012 R2, so I have selected a forest function label Windows Server 2012 R2, and the domain function label should be the same as for function label, that is Windows Server 2012 and the OS is also a Windows Server 2012. If you want to see the properties of this OS, just click the PC and properties. In its properties, here see I have installed a 8 GB RAM with the OS Windows Server 2012 R2 standard, and the computer name is WS 2012 R2-DC that I have given. So just this is Windows Server 2012 R2 standard edition. Here it is. Just cross it. You can cross it. And here see it given an option specify the domain control capabilities. It already select the domain name system DNS server. DNS system must require with the Active Directory domain services features, so don't unselect it. And here you given the directory service restore mode password that is required during the installation. You see the asterisk mark in red, so it means it's mandatory and necessary, you can say. So here I'm giving the password. If you want to know what is the DSRM and what is the purpose, you must read my article Learn IT Profession. Here written DSRM, you can find it DSRM. Here DSRM, you see I have written what is DSRM is. In simple word, DSRM used to restore the Active Directory database, or you can say the objects of an Active Directory in restore mode. Okay, if you want to read, you can read from here my article Learn IT Profession. Okay, great. Go to the remote session and giving the restore mode password. Okay, just click next. A delegation is in DNS option. A delegation for DNS server cannot be created because this is authoritative parent zone. Okay, it means in this Active Directory you don't want to set a DNS delegation. Just click next. In NetBIOS name, it should be set the first name of the domain. That is, my domain name is pakistan.local, so for the NetBIOS domain name, it set a name, it's Pakistan. Just click next. Okay, this is the folders, database folders, Active database folders, log files and sysfile. You can change this folders if you want, otherwise leave it default. Click next. Here you review your selections. If you want to change, just click on previous and change it. If you are satisfied the configuration that you have done, just click next. It is verifying the prerequisites for domain controller. This is the first domain controller of you can say a new environment. Okay, all prerequisites check passed successfully. It is saying that installed to begin installation. If you want to read the view results, you can read it. To install Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2, just click install. It is installing Active Directory domain services on it. Okay, great. Now it is rebooting. Okay, great. The domain controller, the domain Active domain services installed. To take the remote session, just press on keyboard Windows, then R, type mstsc, press enter. Take the remote session by type the IP. My domain controller IP is 192.168.10.8. Just connect it. providing the password of the domain controller. Here you can use another user. Just type pakistan.local / administrator, provide the password. It's creating a secure remote connection. Just click yes. Okay. Great. It is taking a time to loading the services, and open the server manager. Okay, great. Here you see the Active domain services and DNS server installed successfully, and all the status is in green, means no service is stopped and no performance issue. To check Active Directory domain services users and computers, just go to Tools on Server Manager, then click on Active Directory users and computers. You can use Active Directory Administrator Center as well. Okay. Okay, so you see this is our first domain in a forest, that is pakistan.local one. You can check this is a first on single domain controller on default first site, that is ws2012 r2-dc. If you want to create an OS and users computers, you can just click on the domain name on pakistan.local, and your environment it will be different, and right click and go to new, then create an OU. Here I am creating an OU like IT. Click OK. The OU IT is created. Now I am creating a user. Just give a name OS, login name also OS. Just click next and check user must change password next login. It's your choice. If you want to click on it, user must change the password on first login. I am just like power never expires and given a password. Just click finish. The user, you see, created successfully. And here you see, if you want to give multiples, like if you want to give this user rights and like add on a different group, you can add it from here, member of. And this is a little bit demonstration how to install and configure Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2012 R2. Please like and comment on videos and subscribe our channel Learn IT Profession for receive new videos notifications.